Hello everyone, my name is Bhavyatta. I'm a project manager for cyber tool rollouts and vulnerability management. Before we begin, I just want to take a moment to thank everyone involved in bringing this summit together and making it possible for all the speakers and attendees to listen to all the interesting topics. So thank you very much. Um, and let's dive in. My topic for the talk is Agile to Devsecops, one mindset at a time. And we're going to talk about Agile framework as a project manager. What is Devsecops? What's the main distinction? Do we want to take that journey? What are the challenges and benefits? Can we use DevSecOps in software development lifecycle and the DevSecOps culture, what it entails, and how can we get there, and what are the key takeaways? So let's talk Agile. Agile methodology is an iterative approach to delivering a project throughout its life cycle. It means life cycles are composed of several iterations or incremental steps towards the completion of the project. Incremental delivery. Incremental delivery may help bring products to the market faster, yes. But it's also a big disadvantage of agile methodology because when teams work on each component in different cycles, the complete output often becomes very fragmented rather than one cohesive unit, which makes it difficult to track the progress because then you'll have to look across all the cycles. And this see as you go nature or approach just means that you cannot set many KPIs at the beginning of the project, and it becomes a long game and it makes measuring the progress difficult. However, it has many um, advantages as well. Um, it is improved quality, it focuses on the users and the business value. It makes sure that the stakeholder is engaged throughout in every iteration. It promotes transparency and visibility to the management. The costs, delivery, the schedule, all of it is very predictable, and it allows change. Every project has a beginning and an end, and it will include a list of requirements, delivery schedule, and maintenance plan that follows the management model. And we may, as a project manager, we may be responsible to combine these specific requirements from corporate, ops, and compliance teams for a successful security policy. And the project manager can help the cybersecurity team as well with their projects, with streamlined project execution, strategic alignment, optimized continuous resource allocation, problem resolution, and risk management. So what's DevSecOps? DevSecOps is an organizational software engineering culture which aims to bring together the development of the product, the security of the product, and the later operations of the product. And it focuses on automation, monitoring, and applying security at all the phases of the software lifecycle. It basically pushes testing and security to the left, and it helps and enables the security and functional capabilities are worked on or tested simultaneously. So the main distinction when we're talking about agile development, it's more focused on iterative development life cycles, and which means um, feedback is constantly integrated into continuous software development. Meanwhile, in DevSecOps model, security is the primary driving force for that organization. It drives the cybersecurity mindset to the development team and makes everyone responsible. So, do we want to make the move from Agile to DevSecOps? Are we ready for this journey? Absolutely. According to Global Newswire, the DevSecOps market size is expected to grow from US 1.5 bill in 2018 to 5.9 bill in 2023 at the rate of 31.2%. And data shows that mere 17% of organizations have fully adopted DevSecOps. So it does provide great speed and flexibility. It helps us to respond to change more efficiently. But one of the major, and I'm emphasizing again, major advantages in DevSecOps is the early identification of vulnerabilities in the code. Um, because with Agile, getting everyone on board with prioritizing security and holding the teams accountable for security of their products and services is a challenge. So with DevSecOps, though, it's not, because security is inbuilt in that process. It is the ask, it is the requirement since the beginning of the design, since the design phase. So when they say that, it's 17% of organizations have fully adopted DevSecOps, and now we know that based on a recent venture report, we know that 77% of all the compromised attacks, they came from these hidden vulnerabilities in applications and software. So the sooner we catch them, the sooner we remediate them, the better for the product and for the organization. And of course, it DevSecOps brings better collaboration and communications among the teams, especially the cross-functional teams. So, what are the challenges and benefits? As a project manager, it's hard to use only Agile and get everyone on board with prioritizing security and holding teams accountable for security of their products and services. And a lot of time is spent on talking about the priority of the security deliverable, and yet it's not agreed upon or is frowned upon. Yes, it does help us with great speed and flexibility in the security teams, um, but we do have its challenges. So challenges being people, first of all. People do not have enough awareness about cybersecurity until there is a data leak or a hack attack that comes up in the news. Um, Developers believe that cybersecurity is job for only the cybersecurity department, and they should take care of everything cybersecurity related. But when it comes to DevSecOps, it just seems like it's an additional work. And not all you it's not easy to get a buy-in from the management, or in fact everyone in the management either. And then when it comes to the developers, they may or may not have enough security knowledge to fix a vulnerability. And then we also have the process, right? Because, like I said, we talk about the process. We want to bring a process in place, but we don't quite know what that process should be. But then when we get to know that it can be DevSecOps, then it's hard to get the buy-in. And obviously, we have technical or technology challenges. There are not many tools available on the market, and software development itself is pretty complex. Um, and uh, it may need more support, more open source, to support DevSecOps uh, adoption, right? But it will depend on the maturity of the organization. If they can allow the open source, if they can allow the public repositories, um, and all of that. And then when it comes to the scan results, the coverage of, say, Nexpose or Tanium or Qualys, you may or may not cover all the assets, and if they even do, the scan may be inaccurate in the from the existing DevSecOps tools. Um, but we, despite these challenges, there are benefits. There are benefits of DevSecOps, um, greater speed, greater flexibility for security teams. It allows the development team as well to a greater and a wider window for change. More opportunities can be brought in for automated builds and QA testing. And as organizations move towards containerized workloads and dynamic architectures, old practices of bolting on monitoring and SecMon after the fact, they will no longer scale. So there is going to be observability, there is going to be collaboration, traceability, and with all of that, we can be compliant, and we will be much more confident in our product, even before it reaches the market. So can we use DevSecOps in SDLC? Yeah, absolutely. Um, DevSecOps is about holistic, secure by design approach to code, to deliver, and it involves people, processes, and tools. Um, it is in principle technology agnostic, but a number of technologies have emerged that can be enablers to make DevSecOps easier to adopt. In principle, DevSecOps and agility are independent of specific technologies, but any team can adopt the principles and goals of rapid delivery of secure software, which is also reliable and scalable. We can consider a couple of enablers like cloud technologies. They enable rapid deployment and scaling of infrastructure as needed. Containers, they abstract the underlying hardware and OS and make the environment more resilient. Um, and if we are using containers, then we will need container management, because it makes it easier to deploy, monitor, and manage the infrastructure of multiple containers. And security scanning, it will evaluate the source code and infrastructure and applications to identify any potential vulnerabilities before the deployment. And you know, it already keeps in mind the security posture and the current compliance of the organization, and it will make sure that that is the end result. So can we use it in the software development lifecycle? Absolutely, because it infuses risk mitigation activities throughout the pipeline and reduces the defect rate and vulnerabilities in the code. Now, let's talk about the culture, what it entails, and how can we get there. DevSecOps culture, it will include the mindset, elimination of silos, and shared objectives. So, strategy is important. IT strategy, cybersecurity strategy, organization strategy, departmental strategy, all of it is very, very important. But without enabling and empowering the mindset, it will not amount to much. So we also move to elimination of silos. We want to make sure that there's transparency in the work and allows cross-functional teams to work together. I want to, if I'm in the dev team, I want to make sure that the ops team has all the data that is required for them to succeed, and vice versa, because we have shared objectives and teams, and that will only increase the success rate overall. So the basis of DevSecOps is the foundation of empowerment and transparency, with shared goals, objectives, and the metrics that can be shared within the teams to help them bring together, collaborate, and build a culture of trust um, and togetherness. So, because of which, teams will now need to think differently, behave differently, and basically change all of their habits so that security becomes a second nature of their day-to-day activities. It not only starts from the top, it will require buy-in from the management. It The awareness and education is very important. We should have security champions to make sure that the whatever's in the strategy is delivered through the work what the team is delivering. And we want to encourage cross-functional collaboration, and we want to give the developers the tools they need and automate the work when and where possible and appropriate, because we cannot just say that we should move to DevSecOps and not provide the tools to our development and the ops teams, because we are basically setting them for failure, and that's not what we want. We want to give them the proper training and education and tools that is required for them to succeed, and in the end, for the whole organization to succeed. So what are the key takeaways? Well, security is everyone's responsibility. We cannot always blame the cybersecurity team or the cybersecurity division in an organization if anything breaks, or if anything, if there is a data breach. It's becoming like security is becoming an integral part of all the processes, and feedback should be used for continuous improvement. Um, Not only on the process side, not only on the security side, but also on the behavior side, and how we are taking security into consideration for our daily activities. Because DevSecOps is not a one size fits all. It will take time to adopt, but it's not going anywhere. And I am going to end this presentation in a very millennial way. Um, Security is not an option anymore, it's a requirement, and security culture will always be worth the effort and the money that is being invested in it. Making security the top priority for the people in your organization will only solidify your tech defenses, and it will help you innovate the ways that will withstand with the ever-changing threat landscape, which is also not going to stop anytime soon or ever, in fact. So and this is a meme that I really like. If by agile you mean waterfalls and sprints, then what is DevSecOps for you? So I'm ready for any questions. I hope you enjoyed the topic, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.